Um, hey, hi. We will talk about how to contribute in the wiki. So we recently added this feature of adding key points to any company. So anyone can go on and create key points for any company. It is exactly like Wikipedia. Main purpose is to create something like Wikipedia, so that once we go on a company, we get immediately get key insights of that company, like things which usually take us around 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour to understand a company better. That thing can be accelerated. Um, there were two main inspirations for us to create this. One was, of course, Wikipedia. So, like Wikipedia was an inspiration. It means one thing like Wikipedia is especially well organized because it has reference for everything. So let's just open. Maybe let's take any example. Like for example, there's this article of House of Mecklenburg. um, Wikipedia is good source because it maintains the references for everything. In this case, the references are not there, but let's take a wider topic. For example, let's pick up Nikola Tesla. Okay, so in this case, each and every line in Wikipedia provides a reference from where this line was picked up. So in this case, even the pronunciation of his name, how his name is to be pronounced, that is references to a particular link where it has been said that this is the source, or he was a Serbian American. So everything has a reference link from where that point has been taken. Due to this, anything written on it is not purely an opinion. Everything is factual, and these are the sources of those facts. In our case, it is even more important to have original sources because a person can go and verify it from that particular link, and that link itself can provide more information about that topic. So it allows us to keep it factual, plus it allows us to keep the content concise as well. Another inspiration was value line. So if I pick a, for example, this is a report for value line for 3M. So it provides all the information of a company in a single page, but a good part of it is covered by this commentary. This commentary provides an update of the country of the company, that what the company is doing. What I like about this is the way it is structured. So it is structured in paragraphs, and each paragraph has a title and then the content. So if I just want to skim through this company, I can just go through these particular headings of what this company is doing, and if I want, I can read rest of the paragraph also. So these were the two main sources, and this is how I would like to have the content on screener as well. One, keeping source of everything. Second, structuring the content in paragraphs. What I will call this thing is organizing the content in blocks, and block should have a title, a bold title with the details underneath it. So if we go and see, for example, some companies, so Gujarat Themis, for example, Gujarat Themis. In this case, we have organized this all the key points with title and then the rest of the paragraph. And here we have got all the sources. So in this case, if we are saying that anti-tuberculosis drug, um, that reference is also maintained, we can click on that reference and go to that original source from where this was taken. Keeping this structure will ensure that we have a uniform structure throughout the website. And how we can do it, let's start with a blank company, in this case Godavari. If we go to add points, so these are the two tools for keeping that structure. So for example, in this case of Godavari, if we go to the company's page, okay, and we go to the, so okay, so before adding more points, I will take through like what kind of content should we add inside this wiki. The content that we want is content that should be really insightful, content that really adds value to a person's research. That means it shouldn't be a content which is like easily available. Like we don't want lines like the company has grown at 15% over last 5 years. That is already provided on the main website. We can already go and see that this is the growth rate of the company, this is this. Key insights will be like, who are the customers of this company, what the company is doing, is there any upcoming expansion, or which direction the company is going into, what's the market leadership of the company. Insights which help us understand the company better, insights that help us understand its business model better, those are the key insights. And way to get these insights is only when we spend some time on the company. So like 90% people don't spend more than 10 minutes on a company. At most people just see the price of the company. A little more advanced people might see the financials, but very few people really go into the company's website, go through the credit rating reports, its recent announcements, annual reports. And that is what we want to cover through these wiki points, that we must spend some time on the company, at least 45 minutes, at least an hour, and within 1 hour we can get a lot about a company. And after spending like 1 hour, we get some business model inside our head, that this is what company does, and adding those thoughts in a paragraph structure, that is what we want to share here. So main thing, just spending time on the company. When you will start with, for example, in this case, I might not know anything about this company, and if I just spend 5 minutes on the company, I will have a very different perspective after from then what I will get after I will spend 45 minutes on this company. Best sources for getting understanding a company are, like, in most cases these credit rating reports are available. So just going through few credit rating reports will give a very good basic structure of what the company does, what are the key points, what are the new developments that are coming up. And uh, that will start giving us a sense of where the company is going, what's the business model of the company. Next best structure is through the website. So going through the credit rating report, then the website of the company, going through about pages, uh, what are the products, what are the customers, through browsing through the website. And the third most important is usually like, what I usually like to do is go through a basic structure of the balance sheet, where the equity has changed or where the major changes in the businesses have happened. For example, in this case, something happened around these years, the equity changed during these years, or years where the margins changed substantially. For example, around these 17, 18, the margins suddenly jumped from 16, 11, 16% to 25%. So the annual report of 2018 will give us some insights, like what sudden changes happening, why the company suddenly moving from loss to profits. So a couple of years important is mostly usually the years in which the equity changed, or where the margin profile of the company changed, or suddenly the net margins, net profits, or the sales made a sudden changes. So those are the good years to dig more into. And one last source is the recent announcements. After we have spent some time on the website, credit rating reports, annual reports of particular years where the changes happened, and then if we go through the first 2 pages of the recent announcements, we get a lot about any other new development. There might be some US FDA approvals or warnings, which are very important insights, some upcoming expansions, maybe some penalties by SEBI or Enforcement Directorate, or resignations, sudden changes in management. So those might also become some key insights that might add value to the person who is reading about this company. So these are the top sources. um, I will share few. So like, I can't just start adding on this company because it will require me to spend some time. But I will take you through some shortcuts, some keyboard shortcuts, which will help us structuring this data in the format we talked about, in this paragraph format. How we add these headings, how we add reference notes. So if we open a company and we want to add a heading, so this is a heading, and this is the content. uh, Company does this and this, upcoming expansion. So what I usually do is just start typing it inside the. So I usually start with just the headings. As I'm reading about the company, I try to plot more about the key thoughts that are developing in my mind. So like if I read about some upcoming expansion, um, sometimes when we are reading about the company inside the annual report, there's a strong commentary that the company is going into reducing its debt. It wants to become debt free. So uh, that is that can be a good heading. That can be a good insight, because that uh, though it is already visible inside the balance sheet structure of the company on the page, but that commentary that the management is intending to become debt free over next 1 year, that can be a key insight. So um, wanting to be debt free, wanting to be debt free by 2022 maybe, that can be an important insight for me. Another important insight like can be backward integration into this and this or something, or maybe forward integration. In this case it might be forward integration into steel pellets. So forward integration into um, iron pellets. um, so like these can be heading, and then we can add more details. Company has traditionally been into iron ore, but iron ore. It is now uh, um, entering now setting a plant for iron pellets. The cost the the cost of the project is like let's say like this crores, and is, let's put in just some dummy figure, 70 crores, and is expected to be completed by 2020, let's 22, something like this. So these are structures, but it will still not render as a bold in this case. So to make this heading bold, we can just click on B and it will make this heading bold. And we want to insert reference for this. So let's say like we came across some article or maybe some page in the PDF that provided us this insight. So we can just copy that URL and use this to add reference URL, and it will add the reference URL like this. So we can add reference URLs inside the headings, if or maybe even inside the at the end of the paragraph. That is also workable. So we can add the key insight to here also. And in sometimes it might happen that there might be multiple pages or multiple PDFs that will provide us. For example, we came across some article in 2015 annual report, so we can copy this URL and we can add multiple references using this. So we have just added 2 references for this thing. Similarly for all the other headings as well. Wanting to be debt free by 2020. Sorry. So wanting to be debt free by 2020. As per the 2020-21 annual report, the company intends to be debt free by 2022. The company has reduced the debts of 300 crore over last 3 years. So something like these, we can create those specific blocks. Content here. Similarly, setting, and now it will show up as 4 blocks, each with the respective references. So again, in this case, we will need to provide reference. We can add reference URL through this. Sometimes PDFs are like, for example, in this case, PDF is has got like hundreds of pages, and we want to specifically refer to page 45 or page 46, for example, this page 26. So a way to refer to this specific page is like after the PDF link, we can hash yeah, we can hash and page is equal to 25. So in this case, when a person will click on this link, it will take to the page 25 of that specific PDF. So this is another small handy tip. Um, in case you miss it, it's okay to miss these page references. Just adding the link is also enough. The After you submit a change, the moderators will go through these changes, and we will like fix any small grammatical things or fix the links in case they can be referenced better, or any small formattings will be done by us at our end when we are going through the changes. So what to add? Add meaningful content which we derive after we have spent some time on the company. Usually, like, so this is not a research recommendation one. This is not a total research report about a company. We want to provide a basic overview of the company, some basic business, make a person understand the business model, share the key transitions that are happening, share the market leadership of a company, and like 80% of these stuffs can be gathered if we spend just 1 hour on the company. A full research, it like 1 hour research is not an alternative for an in-depth research of a company, and that is not the purpose here. We just want to share the key insights of the company. A full research cannot be done in 1 hour. Full research needs, like, it can take even weeks, and it can even take months to do a good proper research to make an investment thesis on a company, and that is not our intent here. We don't want to share a key thesis, investment thesis on a company. We are not here to share the entry barriers about a company or anything related to valuation. We want to share key developments that are happening in a company and just make a user understand the business model of the company, that who are its customers, what the company is doing, where is it moving into, what is it saying in the commentary for the upcoming years. So that is the main intent. um, yeah, thank you. I hope this is helpful.